What up, guys? Today we're gonna install an AAM Performance downpipe on the Q60. It's probably gonna take a couple days because I'm just gonna take it day by day and step by step. I don't want to dump into it today. Anyways, so I got the Q60 back. I don't know if you guys seen the color. There we go. That's the new wrap. It's like a cream beige. Came out pretty good with the black accents. When he sent me pictures of what he wanted it, I wasn't too sure how it would come out. You can't really see the wheels. But it actually came out a lot better than what I was seeing in pictures. Yeah, so we are going to install them. Might have to come through the top for a couple bolts. I'm not going to get head cam on this one just because, you know, I'm going to be down under there and it's going to be barely any space for me to fit. So I will just talk you through it. It's pretty straightforward. If you ever done downpipes, it's like 5 bolts on one downpipe, 4 on the other. Pretty easy for the most part. It's always just hard to get to things. I'm gonna spray some PB Blaster. You want to spray that on your nuts and bolts. These are already kind of a little rusty, and just let it sit for a little bit, and it'll help when you break torque not to break anything else, any threads or anything. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray those real quick and then go inside and change and eat and maybe come back out. I don't know. I'm not really feeling it today, but we'll get it done. All right, so just got a tripod. We're gonna try that setup. I'm in here, got the Infinity. I was gonna do a review or just an install video on these downpipes for the Q60, but I don't have a lift and it's impossible to get a camera down there really to show you guys what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna do a review on these. This is an AAM downpipe for the Q60. They didn't stamp. It's weird that they didn't stamp their name or brand here, but my buddy ordered it right off their website and it was made to order and he communicated through them. It might have just been a rushed order, so they didn't stamp it anywhere. But the welds look good. Everything looks pretty promising. There doesn't look to be anything that would cause an issue. You can see in there their pipe. So they just put the pipe in there, welded the flange on to the pipe. So maybe that might like cause a little bit of back pressure if you're like tuning it for unbelievable amounts of power. You can see it right there. It's got a little gap. I don't know if that would cause too much issue, but maybe a little bit of flow disturbance. So that would be one bad thing about it. Another, which I would easily tell you to go anywhere else for a downpipe because of this, is the factory downpipes use a stud setup towards the front that goes to the turbo, and I highly prefer that on this engine specifically because this one uses a bolt and lock nut, and you can see here the good thing is there's some adjustability. It would be this front piece here. So the bolt goes through there. You know, obviously you get your washer. I would give this a very low rating because of this. There's no room to get up in here. You have to use, you know, extension and uni-wiggles. And so when I go to put my wiggle on it, it's gonna fall down. You're gonna need 2 people for sure, and mechanically inclined people, because you're gonna need someone to hold the bottom, you know, with a wrench or socket or even just their hand, so you can torque this down. Once you torque it, it's a lock nut with the cuts on the bottom, so it should catch itself. You should be able to torque it without having to hold it back if everything goes well. So that's actually going to make this install job very difficult. And that's why I would say to go anywhere else. AMS, I saw a couple other people make it. There's probably not much difference in quality. This is pretty good quality product. From what I saw, they all look pretty freaking good quality. So that would be the biggest thing, is hardware. I know, like, that's something very simple and easy to fix, maybe AAM, whatever they're called, will take it in consideration. I'll send them an email, let them know. But definitely makes it a lot more difficult for install purposes and removal. If you have maintenance on it, oh my god, it's going to be miserable for sure. So that would be my rating on it. I'll show you some pictures once it's installed from underneath. They'll look pretty cool. This is a 3-inch all the way. I believe that's what my buddy said it is. It looks 3-inch, and he has 3-inch exhaust catback all the way. So this thing's gonna flow real nice. He's probably looking at being at least 50 crank horsepower over stock, and then he's gonna do the tune. I just did the heat exchanger, and I got a couple more things I'm gonna put on it. But I'll give you a sound clip, and I'll figure out what exhaust he has so I can put that in there, and you can know what the setup is on this. But it's definitely cool. I'm excited to install this. I like that the bun is up high, so you can just put a wrench on it. I had to get a special socket for the other ones. No biggie. I'll end up using it later down the road. But anyways, that's my review on this part. There's 2 of them. They're identical, except the flange has it's 2-bolt flange on the driver's side, 3-bolt on the passenger. And we'll see how this goes in. It's definitely not ideal. But yeah, hope this helps you guys choose which downpipe to get. The install is finished. We're gonna go underneath the car so I can show you, and I'll talk about a couple little tips if you do end up getting this downpipe on how to install it. Okay, so here's a new downpipe. It is fully installed. Let me get some light for you. Okay. So here is the new downpipe, fully installed, bolted all the way up. See, I got the nut and bolt combo on. Let's see, yep, there we go. And on the bottom, the stud was still there, so I went ahead and kept the stud. It actually helps for doing the gasket. Then I used this stud here instead of the old one because there's no nut plate on this, I guess. You could cut off that extra lag if you wanted to, but I'm not trying to do much cutting today. We'll go. Here's the passenger side. Looks good. This one's a lot easier because it's only got the 2 bolts. And you do need a second person to go up there and hold it. My suggestion is to tack weld those nuts on the bottom, the nut and the washer. Tack weld it onto the downpipe before you install it. That way you just have to drop the bolt through from the top and tighten it down. But once the nut and bolt gets tight, the lock nut actually stays in place, so you can just hit it from the top. You don't have to have anything holding the back. So that's definitely a positive if you're working by yourself. Luckily my sister's in town. Let me get out from under here. So luckily my sister was in town to come from the top, and I just kind of set it on there for her, and luckily I had a good shop light underneath, and she went with the impact. I told her to just go slow. She's never used an impact before, and it was easy. We had no issues, no problems, and we're gonna do the full first start here, and I will check for exhaust leaks, and I'll get her to do a sound clip from the rear. So let's do that. I did find an exhaust leak. Alright, so I did find an exhaust leak on both sides from the exhaust catback to the downpipe. I think I'm going to run to the auto parts store and get a better gasket. I don't like the gaskets that they supplied. That way I'm not trying to get a gasket to work that's clearly not going to work. So I'll be back. Alright, so we finished the install. I inserted a little sound clip for you guys. I found a small gasket leak, and the issue was not the downpipe. Like I said, the only thing I recommend is to maybe tack weld the nuts on the bottom end, so that way it's easier to install. I'll show you the reason I had the exhaust leak, just in case you guys have this issue as well. And this is another reason why I say to do from your turbo all the way to your exhaust tips at one time, so that way your full exhaust system is set one time and done. Okay, so we come under here, and here's the new downpipe. Here's the exhaust, 3-inch to 3-inch, right? Well, the exhaust guy stepped it down to 2.5-inch for his old downpipe. So now we have 2.5-inch to 3-inch. And so all they gave me was a 3-inch gasket because he believed it was 3 all the way. They didn't let him know about this, and I did not inspect. So I was too focused on installing the downpipe that I did not look at the flange of the exhaust. I looked at the actual exhaust, and I was like, oh yeah, that's 3-inch all day. So that's my fault. I had to readjust it multiple times. Got all the exhaust leaks out, and it's running good. Sounds good. Sounds pretty much the same as the clip I'm going to put in there. I might take it for a ride just to see how it feels and do like an in-car sound clip on it as well, I guess. So we'll see where we go with that. But anyways, as for this AAM downpipe, I don't think I would suggest it. There's other companies out there that use the stud design, and then it's easy. You can do it all by yourself. If you have help, then it's not too hard. But if you're like a at-home garage mechanic, you know, doing it for a hobby, doing it for yourself or whatever, then you definitely would want to go with a stud design. All in all, it took maybe 6 hours to do, to remove and install. Minus, you know, I think it ended up taking me like 9 hours just because the exhaust gaskets. I had to run to the store and get another 3-inch because I thought it was, you know, mounted wrong and caused a leak. And so I uninstalled it and reinstalled it a different way. And then I went to redo the driver's side, and that's when I noticed it was 2.5-inch. I had to go to the store. Long story short, yeah, that's why it took so long. So you're looking at, if you're mechanically inclined, you know, 6 hours or less should definitely be the time frame you could hit. If you have a buddy, you know, yeah, definitely quick, easy job, no problem. Just devoted a weekend to it, weekend day or whatever. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope this little review helps you guys out. Can't really do any like head cam on this one just because of where it's located and all the BS, but you can find online how to do it. There's plenty of videos. So yeah, catch me next time. We got a couple things to install left, and that's all going to be in the engine bay, so that's going to be a lot nicer than being on the ground when it's 40 degrees outside. So later, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. So I realize you guys might have questions. What happened to the blue car? Well, this is it. This is the wrap. There's it next to black. Kind of looks white on camera, but it's a cream color. You can tell more that way. We'll walk around the back. But it looks good. The wrap job's good. He got it here done in Spokane. I can't tell you the name of the place because I don't know. But yeah, it's dark outside. We're not getting true good color of it. But you can see there's pretty decent color of it. It's pretty cool. You know, you'll see it out in the sun here pretty soon once I take it out for a drive after I'm done doing all the installs.
Late night room, shorty hit my iPhone. No brakes, all gas, long pipe though. Welcome to the city, my home is a different breed, a way to know. Really living out my dreams out here, so it goes.